All right, guys. So logging in right now, you should be claiming your brand new Wand of Submission. This may be your very first one and you're wondering, who do I put this on? Well, I can go ahead and tell you to make this very short and simple. The champion you use the most in the arena, your favorite champion, throw it on them. It's going to work great. This is a relic that is extremely flexible. I don't know of any champion that this relic doesn't work on for the arena. Now, if you look at PvE content, so like dungeons, clan balls, all that kind of stuff, it's not really going to work there. It's not going to do that much for you. I wouldn't put it on a PvE-focused champion, but any PvP champion, this is going to do great, just flat out. Now, there are champions this is far better on, and there are champions where this is not going to get as much benefit. Of course, right? Like if you throw it on your least used damage dealer, well, it's not really going to do much because you're never getting them through. But either way, let's talk about what this does, and then go over some ideas for you to equip it on your champions in your account. So the Wand of Submission is going to have a chance, starts at 25%, to reflect Stun, Sleep, Fear, True Fear, Freeze, Provoke, Petrification, and Sheep. So any of the hard crowd control effects, not block actives, not block passives, nothing like that. Any of the hard crowd control effects, if they introduce more in the future, they will probably update this and include those in here as well. Now at level 15, it's going to boost that to 45% chance to reflect. At level 18, level 6 max, so max rank, it's going to be 50% chance to reflect any of these hard crowd control effects. Now, when you first get your wand, don't hesitate to take it up to +9 as soon as possible. It's relatively easy. Get a few 3-star relics, throw it in there, a few of the basalts, throw it in there, and boom, +9. I believe it starts at a 3-star anyway, so it's pretty inexpensive to do that, and you can do it very quickly. This is a relic that I would say is worth taking as high as you can get it as soon as possible. It is very, very powerful. Now, at level 9 or level 3, it's going to be a 35% chance. It's not going to happen all the time. It's not even a 50-50 chance. But when it does happen, it can literally change the game. You're not getting sheeped, you're not getting stunned, and the enemy is instead. Now, you'll see my Cometus build here. He's in Stone Skin. So you may be wondering, if the enemy Armons tries to do the AoE ability placing a stun or something along those lines, is it actually going to place the stun? Because it's not going to have a chance to place it on Cometus anyways, since he's in a Stone Skin set. Yes, it does have a chance to reflect a stun, even if that stun wouldn't have been placed on him anyways. This is going to work a lot like the deflection set, and basically just, hey, if they're trying to place a debuff on me, or a crowd control debuff specifically, whether I have Stone Skin or block debuffs, anything like that, it's still going to have a chance to send it back to the producer. Now, things like sheep, say I use my Cometus's A2, stripping their buffs, placing block actives. Well, now they have sheep. Oh crap, well, I have a chance of getting sheeped, right? Yes, I do, but I also have a chance of reflecting that sheep back to the producer. So they haven't even had a turn yet. I get sheeped, the wand sends it back to the whoever had the sheep blessing, and now they're sheeped. This also has no cooldown, so I guess you could effectively have multiple sheeps go out potentially as well. I've not actually seen that happen, but that would be pretty crazy. So right now, for me, I have my Wand of Submission on Cometus. He benefits from the HP, he benefits from the speed, and he also benefits, of course, from the reflecting debuffs because he's a very likely champion to get polymorphed or to have the polymorphs go out. He's also a high target for enemy Armons who try to cast a polymorph. Any controlling option the enemy has, they want to get it on Cometus. Cometus is a champion who can secure a fight very early on. So that's why I have it on my Cometus. Now for my Herbaeus, the reason why I have it on her, which is basically like a Arbiter on steroids, is because she is my fastest champion. I want her to be as fast as possible, so the extra 9 speed makes that possible. She is 462 instead of 453, and it makes me win more speed races. When you're pushing the top speeds, or when you're pushing higher speeds, any extra speed you can get is worth it. So that's a big reason why I have it on her. But she also benefits from the accuracy, she benefits from the HP, and she has some strips plus some debuffs on the A1, so she benefits from the other effects as well. And I've actually had plenty of cases where an Armons will try to sheep her, and it gets reflected back. So your Arbiter, while she's going to benefit a little bit less than an Herbaeus, will still benefit from that. But even champions like Siegfried, who doesn't benefit necessarily from the stat boost from the wand, is still going to benefit significantly from having this on him. Now, a little bit more of an accessible option is Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong, he's not going to get any benefit necessarily from the stats on the wand, but he will get benefit from the chance to reflect polymorph if he goes for an A3 strip, a chance to reflect a stun from an enemy Marius, all that kind of stuff. He will have a chance to reflect that. If you're using a Narcisse, for example, he's also going to benefit from the HP, from the speed, from the chance to reflect those debuffs, whatever it may be. Basically, the wand is going to be amazing on any champion used a lot in the arena. You can decide, okay, my Armans always gets banned. Armans would be an amazing champion for the wand to be on. But if he's always getting banned, should I really put it on that champion? It's up to you. It's great on him, but maybe you can't justify it. A Gizmak. I would love to put it on Gizmak if I had a Gizmak. Easy option there. But for my account, my next wand is probably going to go on Sulfurion. So Sulfurion is a champion who I think is a very good candidate for a Wand of Submission because he is placing HP burn on everybody, which actually the Wand of Submission has kind of allowed me to free up my pinpoint gear from my Cometus. It's just not good enough at the moment to make him fast and good accuracy and good HP. So I was actually able to take off some of the pinpoint, put him in Stone Skin plus Wand of Submission. So I'm looking at Wand of Submission as kind of a lesser version, quite a bit lesser version of pinpoint because it's not 100% blocking the polymorph, but it's going to stay around for the whole fight. So that's what I'm looking forward to there. But for Sulfurion, he has an AoE HP burn. So the Wand of Submission is going to help me not get polymorphed when I use this at the beginning of a fight. He's fast, so he's going to be taking a turn pretty early. He has a high likelihood of getting Wand of Submission, or not Wand of Submission, he has a high likelihood of getting polymorph on him. Champions that I use a lot, like Nishak, great option for Wand of Submission as well. Right now I have this, but he's going to get extra accuracy, extra speed, plus less likely to be polymorphed when the enemy's polymorph procs. But if you're not so worried about polymorph, because a lot of champions are moving kind of away from polymorph because of Wand of Submission becoming so prevalent, and even more so now when everybody gets it for free, if you're not worried about champions like that, you can look at even champions like, okay, maybe your Marichka, for example. I have Aspect of Seeroth on her. I think this is a better relic to have on her, but maybe your Cleanser. You don't want them to be stunned. You don't want them to be slept. You don't want them to have fear or true fear from Fabian, who's a very common champion right now. You want her to potentially reflect that back. It's not going to lock Fabian out, but it's going to allow her to still use her A3 skill and cleanse everybody. Now, a champion like Mithrala, maybe not the best option, because Mithrala is going to have pretty high resistance. You're probably going to resist most of the enemy stuff. It could be slightly justified because she does place debuffs, so you have a chance of being polymorphed. But to be honest, if you're building a champion with high resistance, those would be on my lower end of, okay, this is where Wand of Submission should go. But something you should really consider is the fact that Wand of Submission isn't only reflecting polymorph. It's not only Sheep Reflex, and it does reflect from the Blessing, but Stun, Sleep, and all those other are very frustrating when they happen to you as well. So Sheep may not be that relevant to you, but maybe you've been provoked a ton by an enemy Harima, or maybe an enemy Freya, or Stun and or provoked from an enemy Nice. Well, if those champions you're going against a lot, and you have one champion who, if they stay alive versus the enemy Nice, or if against the enemy Harima, then you can actually come back from that. Those are great champions to throw a Wand of Submission on. Siegfried is actually very high up in that line as well because of a few things. One, if he reflects a debuff that could, take him out of the game, then he has a chance of switching forms and rezzing everybody. So a champion like a Duchess, a champion like maybe a Siphi, a Pythion, who can, if they resist a debuff or resist a crowd control effect, if they not resist it, if they send it back, they have a chance of saving the match. Those are great champions to have a Wand of Submission on as well. But ultimately, guys, the champion you choose to have Wand of Submission is hopefully a champion you're going to be using a lot, and is a champion who not going to be the wrong answer for. And it's also a very much account-to-account basis. Maybe, as far as relics go, you have some of these relics as well, a Temporal Stagnator. Well, this is going to be a little bit better on champions like Fabian and champions like Crixia, who do have the issue with landing weak hits, but this has a chance to reflect those. So maybe that's better on them, though Wand of Submission is great on them. Maybe you put this on those champions and save the wand on a champion who's going to get even more value from it. Maybe you have a Hand of Uncreation, which is very similar to a Wand of Submission. It reduces the chance of applying debuffs, stealing turn meter, or increasing a skill's cooldown against the wearer by 10%. So it's very similar to the wand in a lot of ways, but maybe this is good on one of your champions and you need the Wand of Submission on a more used champion. So you can move your stuff around. Maybe you have this on a champion already. And you're like, well, the wand's an upgrade somewhat. It's a little bit different. But maybe it's an upgrade for you and you swap it over. Pretty easy, right? Chrono Cube. This is better on Queen of Hearts. So when you're moving your relics around, it's very much what relics you already have that are amazing in these different areas that you can adjust to different champions and make it make the most sense. For me, I think it's going to go Herbaeus with a wand, Cometus with a wand. We're probably going to get Sulfurion in a wand. I've been using him more recently, though. Siegfried is very much on the fence, though. With the Feral plus Lightning Cage, he often doesn't deal with CCs like stuns and stuff, but it does happen every now and then. So a few other champions real quickly, or I guess if you've ever noticed yourself saying this champion is a sheep magnet, that's going to be a good champion for Wand of Submission. Now, that is assuming that you are going against polymorph blessings very often. A lot of you may never see a polymorph blessing. And if you're not seeing them that often, then consider what stun, sleep, fear, control, whatever you're going against is landing on you, and which champion that is just basically ruining. What champion can overcome that being landed on them and then be fine? Volcanos is another very good option. He's a very sheep magnet champion. Then, of course, Nell, Gizmak, all those champions are very much sheep magnets where the Wand of Submission is going to fill in excellent. Like I said, those are mostly towards polymorph blessing, and you may or may not be seeing polymorph very much at all. Maybe you're seeing more Fabian and Armons. Well, who do you need to cleanse those potentially, or who can, kill the Fabian and Armons, or whatever you need to do? Just things worth taking into consideration. Maybe it's your Warlord. Though, to be honest, if Warlord's going after your booster, and your booster went first, probably not the champion who needs it. Maybe your booster just needs it the most, because if you get locked out there, the match is over before it even starts. So a lot to consider, guys. There was maybe not a solid answer for you, but I do want you to know that there is no champion you throw this on that I know of, if you're using them in the arena, that it's going to be bad for. Some better than others, but ultimately, it's an amazing relic for so many champions, and it's about to make the arena a whole lot more not interesting, frustrating, because you never know where it is, and you could be locked out, stunned, whatever happens, whenever. But to be honest, I'm going to be happy every time it reflects a sheep back to Armons, because I hate that champion with a passion. So I'm looking forward to more wands and then letting Armons through. So I don't have to do the ABA stuff. Always ban Armons, be a thing of a past, and then I can start ABN, always banning nice. Either way, guys, let me know who you're putting Wand of Submission on. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you all in the next one.